Chapter 1. The Man No One Believed. In the town of Cairo, no one believed the old man. Not at first. He stood by the banks of the Mississippi River on a humid summer morning in 1811, his boots sunk deep into the mud, staring at the water as if it had whispered something to him. His name was Elias Turner, a former surveyor, a man known more for maps than madness. "The river will run backward," he said quietly. A group of traders nearby laughed. "The Mississippi?" one of them scoffed. "That river's been flowing south since before your grandfather was born." Elias didn't argue. He simply nodded, eyes still fixed on the slow, steady current. Chapter 2. A Fragile Nation. At the time, America was still young, fragile, expanding, uncertain of its own strength. The Louisiana Purchase had only recently doubled the nation's size, and the western frontier was more rumor than reality. Towns like Cairo were outposts of ambition, perched between wilderness and civilization. But beneath that wilderness, something was shifting. Something enormous. Chapter 3. The Night the Earth Roared. On December 16th, 1811, at 2:15 in the morning, the earth roared. Not shook, roared. People woke to a sound like thunder ripping through the ground itself. Cabins splintered. Trees snapped like twigs. The Mississippi River heaved as if something monstrous had turned beneath it. And then, the impossible happened. The river began to move north. Chapter 4. When the River Defied Nature. Witnesses would later describe it in disbelief. Boats were thrown upstream. Waves surged backward, swallowing islands whole. The current reversed, as if gravity itself had faltered. For several terrifying hours, the Mississippi, one of the most powerful rivers on Earth, flowed in the wrong direction. This was not a myth. It was the result of one of the most powerful earthquake sequences in American history, the New Madrid earthquakes. Chapter 5. A Land Broken Apart. Elias Turner survived. Many didn't. The ground cracked open, releasing sulfurous gases that choked the air. Entire sections of land sank, forming what would later become Reelfoot Lake. Church bells rang on their own hundreds of miles away in Boston. The United States had never experienced anything like it. Chapter 6. A World Without Explanation. There had been no warning system, no scientific understanding of tectonic plates, no way to explain how the heart of the continent could behave like the edge of the world. Except for Elias. Chapter 7. The Signs Before the Disaster. Weeks before the earthquake, Elias had been traveling through the frontier, mapping land for a private company. Along the way, he noticed things others ignored. Birds abandoning nests, fish leaping violently from the water, a low, constant vibration beneath his feet, so subtle it felt like imagination. But Elias had studied land his entire life. He understood patterns, and this was no ordinary disturbance. Chapter 8. The Man Called a Prophet or a Fool. When he tried to warn people, most dismissed him. A preacher in Kentucky called him a false prophet. A military officer laughed and said, "If the ground moves, it will be because God wills it, not because a map maker says so." But Elias kept moving. Stay away from the riverbanks. Prepare for the ground to break. Watch the animals. No one listened. Chapter 9. The World That Changed Overnight. Until the night the world changed. In the months that followed, the earthquakes continued. Over 1,000 tremors, some strong enough to reshape entire landscapes. The frontier turned into a place of fear, where the ground could no longer be trusted. Even James Madison received reports describing the chaos. Yet explanations were scarce. Science lagged behind reality. Chapter 10: The Man Who Became a Guide. Elias became something else entirely. To some, he was a prophet. To others, a fraud who got lucky. But to a small group of survivors, he was something far more important. A guide. They followed him west, away from the fractured land. Chapter 11: The Girl Who Lost Everything. Among them was Clara Whitmore. She had lost everything: her home, her family, her sense of safety. But she had one question. How did you know? Chapter 12: The Notebook. Elias didn't answer immediately. Instead, he handed her a worn notebook. Inside were sketches, crude but detailed, of land formations, animal behavior, and strange patterns in the soil. And one phrase, repeated over and over: "The earth speaks before it screams." Chapter 13: Learning to See. Clara spent weeks studying his notes. She began to see what Elias had seen. Patterns. Warnings. Signals hidden in plain sight. Chapter 14: The Camp of Survivors. Clara now sat beside a fire in a fragile camp built on higher ground. Below them stretched a broken world, flooded forests, cracked earth, and mist rising from the scars of the earth. Animals refused to settle, and the ground still trembled. Chapter 15: The Language of the Earth. Inside the notebook, Clara found a list. Observed anomalies before rupture. Birds fleeing early, livestock panic, water behaving strangely, low vibrations, warm ground patches. These were not guesses. They were evidence. Chapter 16: Understanding Comes at a Cost. "You're reading it like it's scripture," Elias said. "I'm trying to understand it," Clara replied. Understanding comes at a cost. Chapter 17: The Map of Pressure. Elias showed her a strange map, not of towns, but of jagged lines, hidden forces beneath the earth. Pressure, he said. The earth isn't still. It never was. Chapter 18: The Ground Moves Again. A tremor struck the camp. Sharp, sudden, terrifying. Horses panicked. Then silence. "They're getting closer," Clara whispered. Chapter 19: Fear Becomes Strategy. By morning, fear had changed. People organized, prepared. Survival became deliberate. Clara began helping Elias track patterns, and she started seeing them too. Chapter 20: The Decision to Move. "You can predict these things?" a soldier said. "No," Elias replied. "We observe patterns." "Then should we stay?" Elias paused. "Then we move." Chapter 21: Leaving the river behind. The camp packed. Wagons rolled. People left behind the land that had betrayed them.